Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. I decided to get out and have a different environment. You know, these conversations sometimes when they are confined, pia unahitaji upate nafasi kidogo nipumue hewa. Now, I want us to look at something very critical, and it's something I fancy most. It's called communication. But before we look at communication in respect to government, I want to start with this critical information or very important information. Top mark movers. Are you moving your office items or your household items from one place to the other? I tell you, there is this Top Mark Movers. Top Mark Movers is a startup, and you know, in the bold, one of the few things I like is young people doing something. So Top Mark Movers have also opened their website, and I remember telling them that now if you start business, have this website, www.topmarkmovers.com. Reach out to Top Mark Movers so that you can move your items from one place to the other safely, professional, and affordable. Their number is +254 19 17 43 93. Top Mark Movers, quality is everything. Straight to political communication. There is a bother, and 2 months ago, President William Ruto, in a heated sermon to the cabinet members, complained why the cabinet secretaries have not been engaging the media and in having maximum communication with Kenyans, explaining different activities of projects that different ministries are doing. And do you know that I've just pointed out some important flaws, some flaws that we've been noticing. The president has, in the recent past, been in public, and the recent communication about Mambo ni Matatu. Now, Mambo ni Matatu was a statement, a political statement that was made in Western. But what you'll later see is, to date, or rather 3 weeks later, no government official, not even the Attorney General or official spokesperson, has given a tangible explanation of what exactly the president meant or how that is going to be executed. And as we speak, political pundits and different analysts have actually branded the president's speech as a threat. And indeed, in simple terms, it's a threat. No one knows what exactly Ruto meant by executing the 3 options. But what will later change was different people then interpreting and taking it, making fun of it, that of course Mambo ni Matatu became a slogan. Now, they've been they've not maximized on media engagement between the government officials and also the publics. And that has caused a blunder. I want to apologize because I just want to notify you guys, I'm shooting somewhere where, of course, people are also running other errands, so we might have distractions here and there, but of course it's normal. That's the challenge of shooting outside. So, fast forward, do you know that despite the fact that we have civil servants and almost all the state offices have communication departments with everything endowed with staff and structured offices that are supposed to communicate government agenda, but those who have been talking about what government is doing is bloggers. Government has employed critical members of, or rather has been picking some members, act as bloggers, that then you'll go on to Twitter and find out Pius Kinuthia and Murugus and Sam Teres and Dennis Itumbis talking more about what government is doing, but there have been no structured communication. You will realize that William Ruto is speaking a lot of what government is doing in the political rallies, but much of that has been avoided in the media. This has been communicated in different terms, and I remember Rigathi Gachagua complaining that why is media not highlighting what the government is doing? And I remember challenging it here that it is not about media. It's if government is doing something, this thing will just find their way. So the communication structures have been altered. The model is not working. And we seem not to have something that you can say is the straight channel. Now if we speak, there should be a way. If you check William Ruto's communication during campaigns, it was so structured, it was so elaborate, but now as we speak, the only change we have seen is State House media team have now decided to put description in William Ruto's videos. Description in William Ruto's videos. That is the only change that we've seen. And though I want to tell you that the failure of government communicating clearly to the public is very intentional. It is not by surprise. And those Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto complaining in public that communication is a problem is just reverse psychology. There are three reasons why William Ruto has actually decided to make sure that the communication structures are weak. Let me tell you, the government side has even poached journalists from giant media houses because they wanted a relationship between the government and the media houses. Now as we speak, there are just some common faces. People who are in government are not appearing in panels. Instead, you'll see former MPs and some few usual numbers, usual faces appearing in television panel discussions. And those panel discussions are not straight speaking about the government and what the government is doing, but they're speaking propaganda or what they want the audience to consume. Why am I saying? I'm saying this, the flow or the weak communication structures is intentional to achieve these three political objectives. Number one, William Ruto has decided that for the first term of his governance, much of what is to be said will be run as political propaganda. And propaganda has been domesticated in our politics and institutionalized in our politics. I want to give you an example. Madeira constituency, 2 days ago, coffee farmers were uprooting their coffee bushes. And they uprooted saying that they're getting few small income from it. Now, immediately that information came out, government did not revert. They did not have a counter. And what we saw is the bloggers saying that government is giving farmers some new breed of coffee that is going to mature after a short period of time, and that's why they are uprooting. And the truth of the matter here was that was a lie. To date, Raila Odinga was speaking in Nyamira and was saying the subsidized fertilizer that is being sold to farmers subsidized is a donation from Russia and should be given free. As we speak now, and you can challenge me, even the Ministry of Agriculture has not given a clear clarification about those fertilizers. Why am I saying? It is very clear that the Kenya Kwanza administration, they've made it their mantra that much of what is going to be said is going to run as propaganda, or rather they're going to run with propaganda. Why? This is because if they are avoiding public accountability, if you can be giving two-way, you know, propaganda is normally one way. And that's why when president is speaking in a rally, who gonna question the president? You will say, yes, sir, yes, sir. You'll have to accept what the president has said. It's because they are avoiding the accountability question in public. Number two, the other reason why the structures are simply not working is because of what I want to call bureaucracy. The bureaucracy here is on who is supposed to approve. And when you speak to journalists, you can speak to Waziri. You want to ask a question about Hustler Fund. And for you to get, you want some clear information about Hustler Fund. And you're told the best person to give you is Waziri. So you are a journalist. You want to do some fact checking about Hustler Fund. And then you will be told that if you go to the ministry, if you want to call the ministry, the only person to give you that, or even the only person to give that interview is Waziri. Then Waziri is out of the country. Tell me, for how long will you get? For how long will it take you to get that story and run that story? If you wanted to run it today, you realize that there are a lot of steps, and it's because, and this bureaucracy has also been intentional because you will realize that most projects that are run at ministerial levels, all of them are President Ruto is hands-on. He will not let a minister to go and launch some water project. That water project will have to be launched by the president, even if it will take 2 or 3 months. It will have to be launched by the president. It's because he wants to take all the credit. So that bureaucracy has also frustrated media houses that want to cover and get clear information from the ministry. And lastly, I think the negative profiling of media, and let me not say negative, but political profiling. There are political profiles that have been made about Media House A is supporting Azimio. Media House B is supporting Kenya Kwanza. So if you've already profiled me, where would I get the impetus to even cover your events? State events are poorly covered by media houses. Is it because they cannot afford to deploy journalists? No. And also the consumption pattern has changed. You'll take this from me. When you check Citizen TV taking a live stream of Climate Summit, and the same day Raila Odinga has called a rally in Jacaranda here, who will get more views? The Jacaranda rally will get more views than the Climate Summit. And that is why you will actually realize that it may never get to its fruition. So the media also wants to do what the audience wants to hear. What am I saying? If you mean you want to communicate, why did it even take government to buy Azimio bloggers to run their stories, while Kenya Kwanza bloggers are languishing in absolute poverty? And they've been complaining. Check Twitter, you'll realize they've been complaining that we campaigned. Some of those who campaigned for William Ruto, that was the campaign trail, they've been pushed in the periphery, and government went and picked Azimio bloggers to communicate for them. It's because they wanted to reach to those who support Raila Odinga with the mere political propaganda, but they're not interested in telling Kenyans the truth. Thank you.